Going over to the political part of the podcast today, we have Trump indicted for trying to wipe a server. Now, apparently the Department of Justice has filed paperwork for Trump to be indicted for attempting to wipe a server. Now, pejoratively speaking, or simply put, a server is just like a computer in a data center, or if you're Hillary Clinton, in your bathroom, I believe. And it's where people go to get data and access data. I'm trying to think of how to give a rudimentary definition of a server, but think of it as like your computer, but easier to access by many people. Now, famously, Hillary Clinton used a BleachBit to wipe her computer, and she had 30 to 35,000 emails just disappear when she was subpoenaed. She actually instructed her team to smash her phones with hammers, which, in terms of data recovery, doesn't always do it. But the DOJ famously said at the time when she was running for president that they didn't think the optics would be appropriate to go after a presidential nominee. They wanted to protect the institution of the process of having people vote for who they want to vote for. So they said they weren't going to attack her, or they weren't going to prosecute her because she was running for office. That was the standard back then for people on the left. I can't help but notice now they're going after Trump again, which there's got to be some, in terms of merchandise, there's got to be some funny shirt about another day, another Trump indictment. We'll see how many of them actually stick, but it is kind of concerning when you're just jailing and persecuting your political opponents. Because right now, according to the polls, he's the number one nominee he's the number one in the polls for the Republican nomination. Most likely, unless Ron DeSantis or one of the other contenders really changes their approach or does something drastically different, he will get the Republican nominee for the U.S. presidency, and he'll be running against, most likely, Biden. So, especially concerning for those who actually value freedom and equality under the law, because again, Hillary was not prosecuted. Mike Pence, you had the issue with the papers not being stored in the right spot with the classified documents. It wasn't just Trump who had that issue. You also had Mike Pence, who was his VP. They didn't go after Mike Pence, interestingly enough, probably because I think he's more politically left than not. But you also had Hillary Clinton, you had Biden, you had Obama. I guess the moral story is we have way too many documents that are classified. Do they just classify everything? But I digress. They didn't go after anyone except for Trump. And it's one of those things where I think a lot of people in the middle, and even on the left, they're wondering, why is there a double standard in this case? It certainly doesn't feel fair. For sure, Trump is the most bombastic character, and he says a lot of crazy things. I would say that. But it doesn't seem fair where it seems like it's especially just blatant political targeting. This is perhaps the most prime example of it, where you literally have this instance where Hillary Clinton did the same thing, and they didn't go after her. So it'll be interesting to see, does this reinvigorate his base? Are more people in the middle going to go towards supporting Trump? If Trump wants to win this time around, he's going to need more people in the middle to go over to him. And it's one of those things where, based on his, I would say he has some great exceptional policies, especially being a business owner, I appreciated many of them. But it's one of those things where he is very charged in terms of people who like Trump, love Trump. People who hate him fervently, enough to perhaps, do some unethical things with the election. I don't know if there's any, I would certainly never suggest that. Well, I guess now you can. YouTube changed that policy, oddly enough. Fascinating timing when they changed that. Where now you are allowed to question the election, as pretty much every election since the dawn of time has had some interference. The debate is the interference, the delta, is that difference enough to make a difference in the outcome? That's really the debate I think more people should be having. But it's one of those instances where he needs to win over more people in the middle. I think he should politically move on the chessboard. He needs to partner with someone who's less polarizing. I think Vivek could actually be a really good VP. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's a former entrepreneur. He built up a pharmaceutical company. And he really has some exceptional knowledge and quantifiable knowledge actually reading documents by the founding fathers. But it'll be interesting to see what this indictment does for him. I suspect the people who already hate him, I don't know how many they're going to win over. I think this indictment will further polarize. The people who love him will love him even more. People in the middle might start to move a little bit, just noticing the discrepancies. It'll be interesting to see what this does to the polls. Or if he is prosecuted, can he win from jail? There's a lot of people saying technically you could, which would be, I think Elon Musk said the most unusual and the most entertaining outcome is usually the one that happens. That would certainly be entertaining to win from jail and pardon himself. That would be a first, I think. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of August, so I'd really appreciate you taking time to click that subscribe button. Also, taking the time to comment and like the video really helps it out. It gets shared more and more. The more engagement we'll have, the more we'll be able to invest in the channel, get better production. I appreciate the feedback especially. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, Tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.